7 years since the Soweto uprising. Our reporters fanning out throughout the different provinces to give us updates. Let's pick up now with Ziyanda Ngcobo. She is at the province of the Free State, and that's where the main celebrations are going to be had. The Deputy President, Paul Mashatile, will lead that, Ziyanda. Good morning to you. Talk to us about what is planned there for the day. I hear that there is this word that is being used to say this Youth Day is being observed very differently by various provinces.
Absolutely, and as I speak to you, the national anthem is being sung, so we'll keep it very brief then with Minister Ronald Lamola. And one of the main things, as Xoli's just reflected now, is how all of you have been talking about this Youth Day being commemorated differently. What was the thinking behind that?
Yeah, obviously, is the realization that the freedom and the rights we have in the country must be actually realized in practice. And the young people must be able, when they come to this kind of events, live empowered through information of either startups or businesses or of skills schools or for any type of continuous development. So that is the type of life that government needs to continue to engage into the society, so that as we operate throughout the year, that is the type of information that is empowering to the youth that they can receive so that they can better their lives.
When you look at the number of young people who are incarcerated in our country's prisons, is it a worrying picture that's being painted to you?
Yes, it is a worrying picture because there's a huge number of juveniles in particular. And as you will be aware, we've got very few centers that are specialty for juveniles. So as the number increases, it will also affect the capacity, but it also reflects the reality of in our society of dysfunctional families, where we have got societal challenges that emanate from that family unit, which I think is what as South Africans we need to work on to rebuild that unit, so that the young people we build and bring into society and to the community are the ones that continuously contribute to a positive change in society, but not the ones that end up being on the wrong side of the law.
Thank you very much for your indulgence, Minister. I do know that you have to be inside for the official start of the program, the African Union anthem now being sung, but as you would have heard, there's a concerning number of young people, and in particular juveniles, that are being incarcerated, that need assistance, and so one wonders whether there's enough coordination with social development, for an example, is one department that I can think of immediately in order to remedy this situation.
Live for us in Bloemfontein there, that's the main province where this year's Youth Day celebrations are going to be observed. Thank you, Ziyanda Ngcobo. Let's take you now to Durban, and that's where a young lady who overcame bullying as a child now runs her own bakery business, and she's 16 years old. Newzroom Afrika's Karinda Jagmohan standing by with Siphesihle Mhlongo, known fondly online as Sippy, the cooking teen. Karinda, good morning to you. What a touching introduction to this particular conversation you're about to have, because some young people have not had the strength of Siphesihle to say, I'm going to soldier on. They take the easy way out, and that is to end their own lives. Talk to us about the strength of Siphesihle.
Certainly. Good morning, Oli. Well, a happy story here in Durban. Siphesihle Mhlongo, Sippy, the cooking teen, has been baking up a storm here in our offices. And like you mentioned, she's had the strength to take her passion for baking, like you can see now, and turn it into her own business. From the time she was 13 years old, in 2 weeks, she's going to turn 17. So, Siphesihle, thank you for speaking to us. You know, across the country, we speak about the youth unemployment rate, but you have your own business. Tell me about the hard work it takes, the sacrifices you have to make. You're in grade 11 to run your own business.
Well, the hard work is basically just planning and knowing that you have to do something and knowing that you're going to have to do, make sacrifices. And the sacrifices, would be, not going out with friends or not exactly doing what you don't want to do, but something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Tell me about how you took your passion and turned it into a business. I know you remember that you sold your first cake and the lady said she was going to pay you and it shocked you. Tell me about that.
Yes. So she was like, can you make this cake for me? I was like, yeah, sure. And then I made the cake and then she was like, ooh, I'm going to pay for it. And I was like, what? I was like, I'm actually getting paid for this because my first client ever was my mom's friend, my mom's close friend. And then after that, I talked to my mom and we were like, ooh, we can actually turn this into a thing, into a baking business. And she posted on her status, on her Facebook, on her Instagram. And then I started getting orders. And just like that, that became a business.
You also, as a young child, were bullied at school for various reasons, but you had to overcome that. And bullying at school is happening across the country. Tell us about where you found your strength and what advice you have to overcome those emotions.
Well, bullying comes from like people who want to make fun of you for something or make you feel like you're less than, basically. And so with that energy, like they're putting all this negative energy into your system, and basically like you need to channel that energy into something positive. Give them something they can't laugh about, basically.
Sophie, you know, as a teenager, there's so much of pressure on youth today from social media, from the fact that you're going into a world that's not necessarily economically stable. What are the fears you might have, and which avenues do you take to try and overcome this?
Well, the fears would be like pricing, because things aren't cheap, especially if you're buying like your icing sugar and your whipping cream and all the things it takes to make a cake or a cupcake. And then people, they look at you and they're like, oh, you're overpricing this much money for that. And then it's like they don't understand. That's a major worry. Because then just like that, they'll convince other people that overpricing, and then they'll go somewhere else.
So, of course, we're going to continue our conversation, especially about the importance of, as a youth, to grow up. But as I'm going to taste one of this, I'm going to take this one. Tell me about your best baking tip.
My best baking tip would be to put coffee in your chocolate cakes. Like, it makes a big difference. And not like a lot of coffee, but like half a cup of like 2 teaspoons of coffee and like boiling water. Yeah. Up until it becomes cool. Obviously, you're not going to put boiling water in like a cake batter.
Certainly. No. Okay. I'm going to try that. Thank you so much for baking us some cupcakes. There you go, Oli. This young lady, she has overcome the odds of being bullied as a child, going through the pressure that we know youth are going through today, and the scary consideration that they're going into a world that's not economically stable as perhaps it used to be, but she's got her own baking business, and I'm going to indulge in cupcakes. Back to you.
Karinda Jagmohan, thank you very much. Enjoying a cupcake there on this Youth Day, and what a wonderful human being Sipho Sihle is. Let's continue the conversation, because here in Gauteng, the Premier, Panyaza Sufi, is holding a jobs fair at the Nasrec Center, that's in Soweto, and will be advertising about 15,000 job openings in various government departments in the province. Business reporter Ntokozo Khumalo is at the fair and joins us now. Ntokozo, one of the main questions, of course, is the turnout. We know the rate of unemployment in South Africa. That's surely one of the key observations that you will surely have made as to how many people have turned up for this.
Good morning, Goli. Indeed, the turnout is immense, actually, with the queue going all the way out to the gates. And that's young people who haven't even entered the Nasrec building where they complete those applications. And it seems that those 15,000 jobs might have been watered down to about 8,000, but I think it should be a little bit more that is being put on the table. As you see behind me, young people still waiting to get inside the center. And I am now joined by MPL Bishop Dutton Adams, who is a community leader for Westbury. Thank you for your time. I understand you came with about 19 buses full of young people looking for working opportunities. Could you talk us through the youth unemployment picture, specifically in your community?
Well, in the areas of Westbury and Claremont and New Clare, you can actually replicate it in the areas of the Raropak and all former colored areas. You find that there's pockets of poverty and unemployment, and it can easily reach about 55%, sometimes higher than most of the average in the other provinces in our country. So what we decided to do was always find that our children from the colored communities are not involved. And when we came here this morning, we found thousands of people. We never expected this, and I knew when I came in here, when the Premier announced that there's thousands and thousands of jobs. Maybe they never expected this turnout, but it just shows the plight of 62% unemployment rate. And we are saying in our colored communities, we also want a piece of the pie, and we also want to be counted in. And that's why I thought it necessary that we help our children to fill in their CVs, do their Z83 forms, make sure they are ready. Now they're in the queue. We just want them to be patient so we can get into the room so they can capture them. And we want to make sure that they are part of getting the jobs they're supposed to get.
Well, thank you for those insights. Of course, Goli, if you can see behind me, we are closer to the front of the queue where all these young people really have their applications ready. And we are going to try talk to a few of them now just to hear what those opportunities that they're looking for. As we know that the government said the jobs that will be made available are in various government departments and range from everything from, reception and admin jobs to artisans and so on. So just trying to fill out those gaps. And I don't know if any of these young people will want to speak to us. Guys, thank you so much. You've been on the queue for quite some time. Talk us through what you are hoping comes out of today.
I'm hoping for all of us to get an equal opportunity because, as we're standing here, we've been fighting to stand properly in the line. But when another person from their nation gets into the line, and then everything is fine. But as soon as we come here, we get photo.
And push us you, which is not right. I mean, we people like they are people. It doesn't mean if I don't speak your language, I am who. No! We must be properly. When it's their people, everything is smooth. When it's a color, you're being treated like you're a dog, which is wrong. When it was apartheid, we were in apartheid also with them. Now we're going, because the black man is standing on the chair, now we are going in apartheid. Where are we then? I mean, that's needs to get that in.
So, Goli, as you hear, just some of the young people obviously complaining already that they have been waiting in queue for quite some time, and there seems to be some racial tensions between the black youth and the colored youth that are on queue, saying that they are pushing each other in the line and pushing others a little further back. And obviously, some of those concerns there being that will they then eventually be able to actually make it inside. We're going to try see if there's other young people that we're going to talk to here, some young people here. Could you just quickly talk us through your hopes of as you're applying for jobs here? Would you like to talk to us?
Yeah, my hopes is I hope I actually find a job. But a lot is happening here. It seems that
so you don't see that there's order here?
Nothing is happening because now there's a million people now in front of me. I've been here since forever.
And what are you worried about as people are pushing through the queue? Are you concerned that you might not actually make it in?
Yeah, actually I'm worried that I came here for nothing. I've been awake. I woke up a very long time ago and I've been here for a very long time now. And when such things are happening, it's I lose hope, honestly.
Yeah. There's a young man there, Goli, just telling us that he is losing hope. He's been here since the early morning, but that there seems to be no order in how the queue is moving. And as I said, Goli, these kids that are outside here have not even made it inside the building where their CVs and so on do get processed. And my colleague Nkosi will just show you how far up the line still stretches of young people who still need to be processed processed for the various opportunities that the Gauteng province says it has available. And of course, this job fair, Xoli, is to really curb youth unemployment specifically, but also to beef up the Gauteng province departments so that it can better deliver services. But we're not hearing any positive feedback from the young people that are in queue here, Xoli. We will be keeping an eye of it, and we'll be heading inside where Premier Panyaza Lesufi is expected to give an address, but whether he will be addressing these young people or the ones that are inside the hall, we are to find out. I will give an update a little bit later on.